What's going on, Jays fans? How we feeling? Are we still alive after that or what? It's okay. Still got game 7 tomorrow, right? So, I guess it's a little bit poetic. You know, the Jays last game come in, first 3 pitches of the ball game, that's all they need to win. And in one hell of a rally in the bottom of the 9th inning, 3 pitches is all it takes to get them out and lose the ball game in one of the most heartbreaking innings I've ever seen in baseball to finish a game. I think everybody collectively tonight, after watching that, wants to bang their head against the wall. But you know what? It's okay. We were playing with house money. Still got game 7 tomorrow. Still a lot to look forward to. The Dodgers got one. They got lucky. They had Yamamoto on the mound. We struggled against him before. Only scored 1 run in both games. It is what it is. You know what? It's okay. Give him the 1. I'm going to come back for game 7 tomorrow, and it's going to be all right. I know for me personally, thinking that these Jays love to do things in the last minute. They love to come out and procrastinate, as everybody has been saying. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, it's bottom of the 9th. You got 2 guys on, nobody out. Could they make this more dramatic than the 1993 Joe Carter home run walk-off? Everybody was thinking it. I assume I was. Could they make it one of the most incredible World Series wins ever? And God, they just ripped your heart out with that. Ernie Clement swings on the first pitch, flies out in the infield, which was just a waste of an at-bat. And I love Ernie Clement. He's been doing great all season, all postseason. Absolutely great. But for that at-bat right there, you got to at least take the first pitch. You can't swing on that and just waste an out like that. That's unbelievable. Going back a little bit to Barger's, in my opinion, triple or whatever you want to call it, it sticks underneath the wall like that. And, I get there's the rules and there's this and that. At the end of the day, it was barely stuck underneath the wall. Okay, fine. It's a ground rule double. Call it what you want. It was right there for the taking. You could have picked that ball up and thrown it. That's ridiculous to me. I get it. But at the end of the day, it's just frustrating. You're just grasping at straws any possible way you can think of a game to not end the way it ended. And that's just ridiculous, Of all the ways you could have hit that ball, of everything, that's how it happens. God, that's frustrating. I don't know. Besides that, let's get into the actual game notes. I actually did prepare some game notes for this one because I wanted to actually, I thought there might be a win here. I thought, let's actually discuss this in detail. Let's stay for a minute. So, Gausman comes on the mound. You have full, complete faith in Gausman tonight because he's been great. Maybe it's just written in the stars or whatnot that this can be, our game, our time to shine. We can do it in 6. Previous team won the championship. They did it in 6. It's our time, right? So, disappointed that it wasn't. But Gausman comes on the mound. You got Ohtani up, first batter, strikes him out. And you're thinking, yeah, okay, this is it. This is how it's going to go. We got this. After that, Mookie Betts comes up, couple guys on, hits a double. At that point, it's 3-0. You're going, oh, okay. Maybe it's going to be a little bit harder than we thought. Springer hits an RBI, gets a guy home. It's 3-1. We're right there. We are right there. We're so close. Especially because this Jays team loves to come from behind. So I would have almost preferred that the Dodgers actually score first. That way it just makes it better. You're coming from behind. There's no pressure to keep up the lead. Everything. It's almost better that way. And you're so close. 3-1. You're right there. But, with that being said, you got to give Yamamoto some credit. He was on the mound throwing heaters. I didn't think that he pitched nearly as well as his last outing, but I think he pitched pretty good, honestly. The major problem with having Yamamoto on the mound for a game like this is he is so precise with where he throws the ball. The Jays have had success all season on waiting on pitches and taking a ball essentially on pitches that are very, very close in the zone. Maybe they're just outside the strike zone. They're very close, and usually they get the call on those things. Usually they're getting the walk, they're getting the ball call, whatever. But the way that Yamamoto pitches, he pitches it so close to the corners of the strike zone that there's just not much you can do. When the Jays hitters lay off of it, it's a strike call, and a lot of them just get out or strike out on some nasty pitches, and you got to give credit where credit is due. He kicked our ass tonight. So, credit to the Dodgers on that one. There's not much you can do. I'm surprised he didn't actually pitch the full game on this one. I was thinking the Dodgers are going to do whatever it takes to win, and clearly they did. But they didn't keep Yamamoto in that long, which was kind of shocking, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have thought they would have brought the bullpen in at all, but they did, and it did make a difference. It got closer at the end, but ultimately the Dodgers won. So I guess it is what it is. Going back to the game notes, though, once we get into it here, Louis Varland comes in, which, you know what, we have a lot of faith in him, too. He's been really good. It's his 14th appearance in the postseason here. So you're thinking, okay, look, comes in a lot, had no problems with him. He's pretty good, and he did good. He gets a 3-out, 3-down inning. Everything's kosher. We're happy with it, right? So you can't complain about that. Clement gets a double in the 7th with 2 outs. Again, another rally. You're thinking we can get something. But the Jays the whole night, the problem that we had tonight versus the other nights was that we could not string more than 2 hits together. A lot of the times when the Jays get their hits, they put the ball in play, either no outs or 1 out, and you have that continual lineup of the next guy up. He puts the ball in play. The next guy does it, puts the ball in play. Tonight, whenever the Jays actually put the ball in play and got a man on base, usually it was with 2 outs. So at that point, the next guy who comes up strikes out. That's it. So it's very hard to move the ball, move the base runner forward when you have a situation in which you just can't get the next guy to get a hit. And that was basically the story of the whole night. And that's unfortunate because you know what? We were so close in this one. Incredibly close. But again, it was just the pitching and just, I don't think our hitters were good, but they were not as good as they could have been. There was a lot of swings and misses tonight on typical pitches that I think that they would have either fouled off or put in play, which is frustrating. Springer gets a leadoff single in the bottom of the 8th. It just squeaks up the baseline. And again, Springer's been injured this whole time. You got to give him basically a standing O for just coming out and playing in this game as it is. And for him to get that leadoff double in the 8th, they're thinking again, you know what? Still time in this game. Still time to do something. Doesn't lead to anything. Unfortunately, again, it's frustrating to see them get the hits that they need to get and just not lead to anything. Very, very un-Jays-like to have a game like this, especially in a game that was basically, not basically, it's a win all or go home. Anthony Dominguez comes in, strikes out Hernandez with the bases loaded as things got a little sticky there. Again, Dominguez has been great for the most part all year. Again, I'm thinking Teoscar comes in, bases loaded, former Jay, he's going to hit something. He's going to extend the lead, do something to make it worse on us. Former Jays always seem to come back and bite us in the ass. It didn't. It struck out. And again, you're thinking, man, this is looking good. We're getting some serious signs here. And every single opportunity in this game for the Jays to just put something together, gain a little bit of momentum, it's just shut down. At every possible step, every possible inning, pitch, hit, it just got shut down immediately. And it's heartbreaking to see that because I really thought it was going to be our game tonight. Really thought that. And it's tough. So going into the ninth here, what else do I got? Vladdy gets on base with one out. Bichette flies out. Varsho grounds out. It's the last chance before the ninth to really do any damage. And again, same thing. It's just like they could not string hits together. So with that being said, going forward to Game 7, you're not facing Yamamoto. I'm not exactly sure right now who's on the mound for Game 7 for the Dodgers. I know it's Scherzer, which is a whole bunch of problems with that. The confidence is low, I will say, even though I love the guy. I think he's great. Don't necessarily have the biggest amount of faith in him. But, if it's anybody but Yamamoto on the mound, I think we have this. And maybe this will look stupid. Maybe people will clip this and, laugh at us, whatever. It's Toronto. We've been there before, fine. Maybe that's just the doubter in me speaking right now. But honestly, I think the Jays can pull this off in 7. The Dodgers squeaked one out here tonight. They got lucky in a lot of circumstances, especially in that Barger Lodge ball. That's just a sign that's making it go to Game 7. What else do you even what do you even say to that? That's just how it goes. So Game 7, you got Scherzer out on the mound, and as a 41-year-old pitcher who, to be honest with you, I love the guy, but sometimes he looks like a psychopath. You just got to believe, and you got to just put one foot in front of the next and just hope we can get it out by out and get hit by hit. Because the Jays are extremely good at stringing hits together. And if they don't have a pitcher like, again, Yamamoto tonight, there's definitely a chance that we can string together enough hits. And if our pitching is good, we can keep a lead and win this ball game. And it's as simple as that. And I really do believe and think that we can get a World Series here. This can be a Toronto Blue Jays World Series win on November 1st, 2025. Just saying that is just incredible. I've never really seen the Jays have much success in my lifetime. I was there for the 2015, success and whatnot. But I guess being a little bit older now and really watching this team and getting into it, especially making videos about it, you just appreciate it a little bit more. So let's give it everything we got. And I'll say this right now. I think Blue Jays World Series champions in less than 24 hours. So I'll see you then. And until then, go Jays, go. Don't hang your head. We'll be champions pretty goddamn soon. Thanks for tuning in.